Yeah, I was going to say almost they want immediate satisfaction, which is in direct juxtaposition to the silent generation.
Exactly. When I was conducting a conference not too long ago, I asked people from 4 different generations, how long is a long time to work at one job? The silent generation said that working at one job for 40 years is a long time. The boomers told me that working at a job for 25 years is a long time. The Gen Yers told me working at a job for 5 years is a long time. And the millennials or Gen Xers told me if they're at a job for 18 months, that's a long time.
Huh. Well, so this leads me into the next question here, where we're going through the defining characteristics of each generation. You're a manager, you're a supervisor, you're working in healthcare, you're at a hospital, you're in a private practice. How, in God's name, can you effectively communicate and manage when you have multiple people across multiple generations? How are you able to do this?
That's a very good question, Ron. And the one thing is that for everyone that's listening, if you're not becoming a student of how to deal with the multiple generations, you need to become if you want to remain successful. So regardless of what generation you're in, I highly recommend, there's hundreds of books written on the subject, audio programs, etc. We need to become students, and let me share with you some of the things we need to do. The silent generation, for example, they respect rules, and they're going to expect you to make sure that you're holding everyone to the same standards. If you have silent generation people that are working for you, you need to communicate in writing, in memos. They want to know in black and white, what is it I'm supposed to do? I'll do it well, but I need to know how am I being rated, how am I being managed, how am I being held accountable. The boomers, they're more of, I want to know what the goal is. What is it that you want me to do? What am I supposed to accomplish? Thank you very much, and I'll get out of my way and let me do it. The Gen Xers, you can't use an argument to them that they need to work hard and they'll get ahead because they see it didn't work for their parents. They realize, hey, their parents busted their butts and did all this work, and it turned around and said, well, we were just kidding. There really isn't anything for you at the end of the tunnel. So when you're talking about dealing with the Xers, you have to give them exactly what you want them to do and tell them what the rewards will be if they do indeed get it done. And unlike the silent generation that you're sending memos to, you're much better off with the Generation X or sending them a text message. And that's also with the millennials. Texting is much better than email, is much better than trying to write a memo. And then if you're talking about the millennials and how do you communicate with them, you need to praise. Remember, this is the generation that's grown up with the parents telling them that they can do no wrong. A millennial that fails a class in school, it's not their fault. They had a bad teacher. So, they come into the workplace, we have to make sure that we're telling them what a great job they're doing. And, this is the first generation that grew up where everybody gets a trophy for participation. So in your workplace, if you're a silent generation manager or you happen to be a boomer manager, you need to keep in mind that even though you didn't need all this praise all the time to keep you on track to do your job, you're going to have to deliver it to the millennials to keep them happy. And so, here's another thing for you that are in leadership roles, and we talk about doing performance evaluations and giving people feedback about their job. I just wanted to share with you, instead of worrying about the 5-page performance review where we give them a 1 to 5 rating, here's a great shortcut of being able to review people from any generation. There's only 3 questions you need to cover in any review, and some of you may want to jot them down. They're nice and short. The first thing you have to do is the first question in any review is just tell people, what should I stop doing? What should they stop doing? This is what you're doing in your job that isn't appropriate, it isn't right, we need you to stop it. The second question is, or the second area you want to discuss in a review, is just tell them what they should keep doing, what they're doing well, what they keep doing, And then lastly, just tell them what should they start doing, meaning you need to learn these skill sets, you need to improve here, I want you to take more responsibility here. So again, it's complex. I wish we could spend hours just talking about how to motivate all these folks. But if nothing else that we get out of the conversation today, Ron, people have to start picking up and reading materials on how to work with these generations, how to motivate them. And again, there's a plethora of books out there and resources that can help people become students of this, because it's going to be so important if your companies are going to continue to be successful going into the future.
Dave, we're going to take a short break right now from our friends at the Chester Company, but when we get back, we're going to be talking about why hasn't the multiple generation issue been a problem in that past, and how do we handle conflict resolution amongst employees from multiple generations, because that's going to be quite a challenge as well as we move along here into the future. You're here on the Healthcare Business Network. I'm Ron Nyman, and we'll be back in a minute.
Revitalize the image of your practice with marketing and communication services from the Chester Company. We specialize in helping you communicate effectively with your patients, whether it's a patient handout that announces a new service or a new website where your patients can conveniently make their own appointments. The Chester Company is here to help you present your practice and its services in the best light possible. Let us show you how. Call for a free, no-obligation consultation. 860-526-9903. 860-526-9903. Call now.